Many salespeople fail because they don't do enough planning and preparation before the call. Instead, they do the bare minimum and then just wing it. Now, unfortunately for them, that just isn't going to cut the mustard with the modern day buyer. Instead, you need to be fully prepared. Now, here are 3 important areas I'd like you to focus on. Firstly, you must know your objectives. Then, you must know your stuff, product knowledge and the like. And finally, you need to sweat the small stuff. So, the first area where you need to do some prep is to set some objectives for your call or your meeting. Do you know exactly what you want to get out of this meeting? I'm not referring to the long-term eventual objective of making the sale here. That's just a given. Instead, I mean, what do you have to accomplish in this meeting, and do you have a plan to achieve it? For example, do you need to gather some information to construct a proposal? Do you need to establish you and your firm as the leaders in the industry? Do you need to get a buying decision today? Maybe you need to find out who the real decision maker is. Whatever it is, you need to be crystal clear in your mind about what you need to get done today. Next, do you have a plan in place to reach that goal? Now, this doesn't mean some script or a canned spiel of what you're going to say. Instead, do you know what steps you need to take and what you need to accomplish at each stage of your sales process? For example, exactly what do you want to accomplish within the first 10 minutes of meeting the prospect? What areas do you need to cover to set the scene for the meeting, and how will you lead up to this? Right now, you want to have firmly planted in your mind and have written down exactly step by step what you need to accomplish from the time you walk in to the time when you leave. What do you need to get done at the end of each step of your sales process? Now, the next bit of preparation that you need is all about knowing your stuff. You don't need me to tell you, do you have the necessary knowledge in readiness for today's meeting? Have you done all your homework? Here are some areas to think about, and I recommend that you work through these before you meet with any prospect. For example, do you know all you need to know about this prospect? Have you visited their website? Do you know their latest company news? Are they seeing anyone else apart from you? Have you been onto their LinkedIn page? Do you know everything there is to know about your competition or their products that might be fighting for the same business? Can you name 3 quality differences between you and your competition? Can you name 3 quality similarities between your company and the prospect? 3 reasons why you're a good fit for them. How about 3 things that raise the value of your product or service? Do you have 3 value-building statements to use when answering objections? Now, I'm not talking about off-pat answers to objections here. What I mean is, can you name 3 solid examples that will immediately help the prospect see the true value of what you're selling? Now, be prepared and know your stuff. Finally, area number 3 for your preparation is that you need to sweat the small stuff. I'm talking about the little things that make a big difference to the prospect. This can mean things like your overall appearance, the type of pen you use. Is your tie done up properly? Is your briefcase tidy? Are your shoes clean? All these little things that add up and contribute to the persona that the prospect builds up about you. Then there's your laptop. Is the battery fully charged? Have you got all the cables that you need? What will you do if the laptop doesn't work? Have you got paper copies of the presentation in your briefcase? What's your backup plan? Now, what about the travel arrangements? Do you know exactly where you're going? It's all well and good keying the details into your sat-nav, but what about the parking? I remember turning up for a sales presentation 45 minutes early, only for it to take another 40 minutes to find a car parking space. It was absolutely ridiculous, and then I entered the sales meeting all hot and bothered. So to prevent situations like that, you need to be prepared and you need to sweat the small stuff every single time. And you really need to make your preparation a ritual. Now, I know some of these things sound trivial, but let me say that they'll often mean the difference between success and failure. So, to summarize, you've got a few things to think about in planning and preparing for your next sales meeting. Remember your objective and your plan to achieve it. Do your homework and gather the knowledge and the information you need for this meeting. And remember to sweat the small stuff. A lot of victories are won off the pitch, so make sure you do your planning and prep beforehand, formulate your action plan, and then go make that impression.